Oops, we're floating around a bit, guys. Ah, yes. All right. The nerds will inherit the copier world. There's a bit of hair on there on the front. I don't know what that was, a big piece of fluff. Anyway, let's see if we can make this rather boring upper class bullshit look good. Let's see how we go. And here, listen. Low-pitched squeaking and a clackety-clacks, a clack-clack-clack sound. So this is not a good sign for Konica Minolta. Their fucking equipment shouldn't do that. I can just barely break 1,000 sheets a month on this machine. Their recommended duty cycle is 10,000 sheets. So these bitches have really done a bad job at the QC, in my opinion. So I have no respect for Konica Minolta and their fucking culture of bullshit. I hate them. I hate the company. I hate the people. The people are fucking assholes. They're fucking idiots. They fucking got no idea. They probably sit there chatting away to each other, having a social time instead of fucking getting into the job. The fuckwits. They're not concentrating. Fucking idiots. Most of them probably have an IQ of around 110, which is pretty low for someone who should be working in QC, quality control. It's not for the dumb fuckers. It's not for the dumb fuck normal people who just talk about what they do on the weekend and what they do socially. They're fucked. They're stupid. You know, if you're hiring those sorts of fucking idiots, why fucking you got to expect a lot of shit? You know, it's not their thing, all this high-tech shit. It's not really high-tech, but anyway, I'm just using that as a phrase to say that this is technology, and the technology is not for the stupid, faint-hearted types. Anyway, we'll just take this we got here a domain mag lift out from the none other than the Sydney Morning Herald Financial Review, whatever, that's the front. Or that, I think this is the front of it. Paradise Found. Sick of they use the word paradise in such a flippant way. And then we're going to do this side. I think this side looks a bit better. So we're just going to do this side. We're going to make it look funny. We're going to do some interesting shit to this. So I'm just going to quickly play with the button so I don't lose my settings. So here we go. We're going to make this piece of rich people shit look really good. Interesting. It's going to be in negative mode, if I remember correctly. So it's going to look really strange, as well as being distorted shape-wise. Okay, let's have a look. Whoa, we don't have much in the picture. It's interesting, but it still looks a bit boring. It looks a bit la-di-da. Let's just do another one, a better one than that. I think maybe that enlargement's too big. We're just going to chuck it on 100% and see what happens. So we're just going to do that. We're going to try and concentrate as much on the picture as we can. So let's see if we can make this turn up even better. It's a bit slippery there, like that. Okay, let's try it now. See if we've got more detail. Yeah, that looks a lot better. I like the little bits of plant material there, and that looks interesting, whatever that is, and that looks good. So I'm wondering if we're just going to use this as our master copy for our job. So we're just going to take the original, which is this pathetic magazine for rich people, because hey, who else can afford fucking housing than the fucking rich? It's a rich person's domain. Yeah, domain. Obviously they called it domain for a reason, because it's rich people's domain. Only the rich can benefit from bullshit magazines like this. This is probably this I think will be the centre. Logically speaking it is. So I'm just going to put it on the glass and we're going to enlarge it slightly. Oops, we just got to play with the buttons so we don't lose the settings. We're just going to line it, overlap it here and here. So we're just going to do it like that. Just make sure it's straight, and we're just going to go there. But that looks really nice, actually. Oh, fuck. Damn you, Konica. No, I can't blame Konica Minolta for that. That was me getting a bit rough with the buttons. I'm wondering if we're going to take off negative, positive, and we're just going to remove this. Not that it really does anything. And see that sound? It's terrible. Going to leave the hue as is. Maybe the red could be considerably less. Right, let's see if we can make this look good. It's also quiet when the machine stops, has come to a total standstill. All those noises I hear on this fucking dumb machine. Fuckwits, the Konica Minolta fuckwits. Okay, whoa, that looks interesting. I think it's a little bit too dark. It looks quite nice, but I don't know, we're going to keep it like that or change it? That's a good question. It's a little bit too dark. In some ways I like it, in other ways I don't. So I'm wondering if we're just going to maybe do something else. We're going back here, so now we're just switching that on, and we're going to give it another background colour, hopefully not red or I'm just wondering what colour we're going with magenta for this one. So we don't need the enlargements yet. We're just going to restore it to 100. We're only going to do it when we make our final master. This is our first master copy, or our intermediate one. And we've got the other one to come, so we're going to just do a little bit of tweaking here and there to see if we can make it look a lot nicer. So I'm wondering with the red, we're going all the way with the red, and the hue is in the middle, so we decided to alter the hue back to normal, and let's see how this goes. So the black areas, or the dark areas, pretty much the black areas, should be turning magenta, and let's see if we've made this look really nice. Let's see if we've made this come up a treat. Whoa, that looks interesting. You can see the resemblance it takes to the positive image, in that you can just see the trees have got green and that, but the colours are absolutely distorted. So I'm wondering if we're going to just stick with the master copy that we have, and we're going to make copies like that. We're going to quickly go back. I'm now regretting that I didn't leave it on the settings I had, or in the position I had on the glass. So I'm going to have to go back there and enter back. Oops, shit, stupid. Okay, and we're just going to lift this up and just going to overlap it like I did before. Oh fuck, it's so hard to get it straight. It just keeps getting caught. So we're just going to just pull that out a bit. So difficult getting the positioning nice. Now we just have to quit playing with the buttons while we're at it, because we don't want to lose our precious settings that we've got. So now it's time to close the dock feeder. And I'm wondering if we're going to use, just trying to decide which original, if I had to make an intermediate master copy like I thought I was doing, or if that's going to be what we're going to use the settings for that. The colours are nice. I'll just throw these aside. These are done with for now. Let's just get our first one out. It's sort of like almost a pastel look in some ways. In some ways it's quite bold, like here. So that looks really interesting, how we've made some real distortion of colour and shape and all that. Of course this demo is going to be prolongated, but it's quite a nice looking result that we have here. Let's see how that comes out. That's our second piece. So that's going to be our centre. You can see little plants there, really nice. So we're just going to line these up in the middle. Try and just touch just get the corners close as possible. And we're just going to 10 copies. We need 2 copies of the same thing. We're more than 10 minutes into the demo, however, it's quite a prolongated one. Now let's see how we go. This photocopier stinks too. Sometimes I smell slightly plasticky smells coming off it, so I don't know. I don't know whether it's just the toner being hot or maybe something else, but it's not a very lovely smell, folks. So I don't know why this machine just does these things. You know, it shouldn't do that. I haven't overworked it. I haven't even worked it at its it's way below its recommended duty cycle. So 10,000 copies is the recommended duty cycle, or number of copies a month. And basically I'm probably only making barely just over 1,000 a month. So folks, my machine's not getting overworked. Definitely not. It gets used. It does get used only very short time in sessions. I don't have a need to leave it on. I don't want to waste electricity. So, but basically, I'm way below the duty cycle, which is really a bit strange. But anyway, that looks quite nice. I think we can now call this one quits.